It's been well over a month since we've had a special episode for season 3, and given the circumstance that we're just a few episodes shy of the close of this season, I can't even believe it's time for that. It came so quickly. I thought maybe this time we'll do something that's music adjacent. It definitely benefits the music. In fact, it enhances the vibe of it, the feeling of being a part of it. You know, the whole ocean of it all. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about the history of light sticks. Real quick overview, just to help you understand. Let's get into it after the drop.
You're tuned into an album a day. Show, start.
Hey, y'all. Let's go ahead and jump into this. And then let me just give you this. You can easily Google history of K-pop light sticks on your own. There are plenty of, articles as well as commentary on it, whatnot. A friend of MacG Magazine, KPopMerchandiseGuide.com. And I mean, when we wrote about them, the website was exceptionally new. So please check them out and, let them know that I sent you over there. But KPopMerchandiseGuide.com kind of influenced this, honestly, because what I was doing was trying to figure out how I can get my hands on the gorgeous light stick that belongs to girl group Luna. And it's going to be a long time before we get to those ladies. I mean, gosh, it's going to be a very long time before we get to them. But they have this beautiful, beautiful light stick that they recently debuted. And it's not technically their first one. They had one that had a white light to it that was utilized during the Luna debut concert called Luna Birth. So that was 2018, August 2018. Had to go scrolling looking for the date. Didn't want to give y'all the wrong information. So, this inspired it. Looking at theirs, I'm like, good grief. It's so pretty. There's so many gorgeous light sticks or bongs. And that's just another word for stick. We're not talking about it in any other kind of context, okay? So I'm like, okay, how's the best way to tell somebody who doesn't know anything about this? Now, and let me clarify, when I said bong, B-O-N-G, I'm not saying bong, like B-A-N-G, which would be like norebang or sojubang. Bong would be room. This is B-O-N-G, which means stick. And all of this is in Korean. There you go. That's your little Korean moment for the day, brought to you by Ashley. Okay. Back in the day, which was like the 90s and even further beyond that. Yes, again, like I said, you can go look this up, but I'm telling you from my angle, and that's the angle of going back and looking for old content. Light sticks were not something that existed until Big Bang came on the scene. I alluded to that a couple of episodes back this season, and we're going to touch on that. But basically, there's always been a way that fans identify and represent themselves when they are in the audience and amongst their favorite celebrity and things of that sort. You've had towels at one point in time, raincoats. One thing that doesn't come as too much of a shock to those of us who have been fans of the Hallyu Wave for a while is we can recall the day of balloons. So back in the day, you had, Shinhwa, Seoul Taejian Boys, SCS, all of those solid late 90s groups. They would have balloons or colored paper to help identify their groups and whatnot. Okay, it's cool, it's fun, low-key flammable. I don't necessarily know if that is what influenced an adjustment, but they decided, okay, around the time of Super Junior and TVXQ, when they were a 5 and not just the 2, that light sticks would be something worth considering. Various groups had different designs and things of that sort, but ultimately what really set the standard for it is the uniqueness, the design of Big Bang's Bang Bong. So that's the most credited one as the first official light stick. I'm not saying that other groups didn't have, the little snap gel light that you can wave around for a couple songs before that bad boy burn out. The one that you get for the one that you associate with ravers or for those who observe Halloween, those things. But the first official one And even with that, some people refer to it as a fan light, but it was that VIP Big Bang light stick. That thing was iconic. It still is, regardless of how you feel about the group. And it was easily identifiable. It was in its own set of colors. It was a design that was unique. And even though there have been far more impressive thereafter, it's still a relatively serious staple in the whole scene. So what creates a light stick? Like what is it? What is it actually? Okay, it is a stick on a light, but it's an LED light for the most part. It's basically a flashlight. I ain't gonna even hold you up. And it's supposed to be as such, because if you're in a venue, a concert venue, the lighting is going to be low because you're not the focus. The people on the stage are. But to help you identify yourself as a part of the fandom and things of that sort, your LED souped up flashlight is basically going to have the color or colors associated with your group. I have a few. They're usually powered by batteries. The more recent ones, I want to say 2016 on out. And I feel like I'm a little off with that date. Somewhere between 2014 and 2016. Just work with me on that. That's when the Bluetooth configuration started to be a default in a lot of them. And that gives you the opportunity when you're at these live events to turn the actual light stick on, and it syncs itself to the music. It does what it needs to do. Your light stick is either going to pulse, or it's going to strobe. It's going to go rainbow in terms of colors. It's going to do whatever it needs to do as it is assigned to the song that is playing when you have it up in the air. And I would be lying if I said it doesn't feel like you are literally one with everything when you have a light stick for a group you enjoy. It's an awesome feeling. Oh man, yeah, it's awesome. I don't own as many light sticks compared to the groups that I do like, but I've definitely had my hands on quite a few of them. I like to take pictures with them, or I ask other people if I can take a picture with theirs or take a picture of them with it, because it's really, really unique. It really and truly is. You have thunder sticks for some fandoms. You got stickers. Some people paint their faces, their bodies. With this, you don't have to do nothing but keep that arm lifted and rocking back and forth to and fro to be able to show your support. So the major labels, SM, YG, JYP, and at this time, Big Hit. Even though we've acknowledged in the past that CJE&M is really, really big, but that's more so for distribution purposes. Let's be real. Pretty much everybody has a light stick at this point in time. It used to be something that you had to wait an extravagantly long amount of time for. You had to earn the right to have a light stick. Now you have some groups within their first year, their rookie year, being able to release a light. And I mean, that's dope, but it's different. It's different. Light sticks are not associated just with idol groups. Soloists have it as well. So IU has a light stick. I know Chang'e has one. The more I'm trying to remember the name of the light stick. Oh, we might have to just jump over that. Anywho, in the event you decide, all right, this was like of interest to me. I want to go ahead and grab a light stick for a group that I really enjoy, one that I really, really like. Well, you're going to come out of some bread if you're not in South Korea. South Korea retails the light sticks for about $25 US. However, when you're not in Korea, you can chuck out between 40 to 60, maybe even 70 when you include shipping and handling over international waters into your order. It's a little painful, but there have been some options that have been created. You can get a light stick keychain, so you can get like a mini bong, and those are really cute. Not every group has them, but it is an option. And some groups even have rings. Most recently, BTS released a ring, and I know of someone who has one. I think it's kind of dope. So it is an extenuation of your support of the group, but it's also a collector's item. It's also a thing of being able to have the clout of saying, yeah, I got X, Y, and Z light sticks. Some light sticks are only issued for a moment in time. A good example of that would be the first generation VIX light stick, which I am sick to this day that I did not get to own. But you could buy a maximum of 6 of them so that you can make the star that is associated with the group from that light stick. And at the time, there was nothing that looked like it. They released another one, but that first generation one, it's a wrap on that. Other things that can be of interest is when people get their light sticks and they do extra appliques to it, bling it out, put their name on it and stuff. I don't know if I would be willing, because I done spent a lot of money on this. I have 2 GOT7 light sticks. Technically, I had 3, because I had one that was a flat paddle before they actually created, not a flat paddle, I'm sorry. That's the one that I had for Girls' Generation, which is an unofficial, acceptable, tour-oriented light. But I had just a regular glow stick from one of their tours before we officially got the Agibong, the little chunky bird on a stick. But I have the first generation light. It was gifted to me. And then in Korea, I bought the second generation one. And I just can't imagine adding anything to it. Perhaps if I was able to have purchased more at the time, then yeah, okay, maybe I would decorate one of them. But I'm not certain. There's power associated with these light sticks as well. When you go to big time events and you see a whole stadium just aglow with these light sticks, it's genuinely overwhelming. It's so beautiful and so ridiculous when you just take it for what it is. Like, you got this many people sitting in a room with glorified flashlights, basically. But it can be a source of power, not just because it gives energy to your favorite artist. It can also be a source of relinquishing that from artists. There are some historical moments that you can Google on your own about Black oceans. They're pretty painful when groups do not get the acknowledgement that they feel they deserve or rightfully deserve by having fans in the audience turn all their lights off. It sucks. It really sucks. In the event you don't have a light, you more than likely have a smartphone. There's a way to be able to navigate that by just using that and turning on the light on your smartphone. Depending upon the colors of your fandom, then that can work out in your favor. If you just like, I'm not paying for that. Also, there are times where if you do have a light stick or a phone, you might be provided with a plastic bag or a balloon or something of the sort to put over your light so that you can change it to an appropriate color based upon where you're sitting if a message is trying to be conveyed to the group. One of the most iconic moments for me here in the United States was the first BTS tour here. Well, no, it wasn't the first. That's wrong, because the Red Bullet was the first one. So the Wings tour. And being able to sit in the area where the yellow was going to be when we created a rainbow for them. I held on to that yellow plastic bag for many, many years. It's somewhere in my house right now. I'm sure of it. I know for a fact that KCON years ago when Shinhwa was there, I know for a fact that I went all them days there not seeing not near one Shinhwa fan, and then suddenly a whole horde of people showed up in orange shirts with orange balloons. So the orchestrative side of it, although the light sticks are the more up-to-date celebratory display, the balloons are still around, and they're still associated with those older groups if need be, when need be. So it's some cool stuff. Hopefully you have a favorite. If not, I strongly encourage that you look up a group and see what they are. Some of the designs are absolutely pathetic and disappointing. NCT. Some of them are death-defyingly different and just the cutest thing ever. Like the stick candy bong for Twice. I got my tongue tied. And that wasn't the first light. They had another one too that was like black and turquoise. Monster X is a pretty one as well. iZone has a very dainty one, but there's a lot of them. There is something for everyone. You might be extremely frustrated with what you see, or you might be very much in love with it. I strongly encourage you to look up the one for group Newest. It's very sleek, very interesting. SF9 has a jigubong, and it looks like a scepter as well. BTS has several lights, and they always have the globe on them, which is very interesting. And as I said, GOT7 has this chunky bird, which I very much love. Both my first and second generation. Like, really makes me proud to have both. Red Velvet has a baby scepter, if you will. And of course, you have to go look up this one for Luna. You absolutely have to. It is gorgeous, just gorgeous. It's going to give you Sailor Moon vibes. And that's the haphazard explanation of the history of light sticks. I wasn't going to sit here and give you quotations from articles that you can find. You got Google, you have internet. You can find it. And maybe you'll find some new interesting facts of your own to share with your friends when they don't ask about it, when they just simply ask you, why you got that light stick? What is that? And then you go diving off the deep end. You know how we do, K-pop fans, you know. All right, I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, y'all.
Your favorite foreign Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z.
There are sponsored ads and social media hashtags, but this show is truly supported by the efforts of my Migualas, the most amazing fan base a little entertainer could ever have. Special shout out to my Patreon patrons, the student body, and the scholars who keep my vision of becoming your favorite Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z a real thing. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this podcast and supporting content, please visit patreon.com/multifacetedacg. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get in on the magic too. Interested in continuing your support at the free $99 price? I love you for it. You can still engage with the show when you retweet, repost, and share the show and use hashtag A3 and the word DAY. You can also tag MULTIFACETEDACG to get my attention. And if you're listening to this podcast on a platform other than Anchor.fm, please leave a few stars or a review to keep things growing in the right direction.